What's up, everybody? I'm James.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Our Killer Obsession. Welcome back to another episode. Thanks for joining us. If you have any suggestions, don't forget we have a link in the description so you can drop any suggestions on shows or cases. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe and help us boost our channel and get the algorithm to grab a hold of us and push us out there.
Okay, guys, tonight I'm bringing you the story of Adrienne Reynolds. Adrienne Leah Reynolds was born to a single mother in El Dorado, Arkansas on September 12, 1988. Her mother married Tony Reynolds later, and he adopted Adrienne. By the time Adrienne was a teenager, her parents divorced and her father had remarried and moved to East Moline, Illinois. Adrienne stayed with her mother in Kilgore, Texas. She was struggling with school so much that at the age of 16, she had not yet even earned a single high school credit. Troubled childhood. She liked to hang out with friends, smoke weed, and absolutely hated school. She skipped class as much as possible. Her mother was worried and felt that the only way to help Adrienne was to send her to Illinois to live with her father. Although Adrienne was a tough kid to deal with at times, her father and stepmother loved having her with them. They described her as a spunky and full of life. Adrienne loved to sing and was actually quite talented, they say. In the fall of 2005, Adrienne started school at the Black Hawk College Outreach Program with the goal of obtaining her GED. So it was like a program for kids that didn't make it through high school that wanted to try to better their future. Her ultimate goal was to join the Marines. So in order to do that, you have to have your GED or high school diploma. So she had a good goal. So she was now living in Illinois with her father, attempting to get her life back on track. It was at the outreach program that Adrienne met Sarah Kolb, a very popular girl, and Corey Gregory, Sarah's on and off boyfriend. Sarah was born April 23, 1988, and lived with her parents in Milan, Illinois. Sarah was pretty and popular. She described herself as a juggalo. If you don't know what a juggalo is, it is a 90s subculture of people that are fans of the music of the group ICP. Very popular in the Midwest. They're from the Detroit area. We are also from around that area, so we are well familiar with this group of people.
Yes, sir. I can almost say that, okay, I'll just say it. I would refer to myself as a juggalo sometimes. I had all their CDs. Yep. So
it was very popular back when we were in junior high and high school. Sarah and her close friend Corey were both super fans of Insane Clown Posse and both identified as juggalos. Sarah had black streaks in her hair, a goth style with multiple facial piercings. And she struggled a lot in school too, just like Adrienne, and eventually ended up in the outreach center along with Corey and Adrienne. Corey was born November 2nd, 1987, and was described by most people as shy and soft-spoken. Corey loved Sarah. He felt that Sarah was the only person he could truly be himself around. The two were initially boyfriend and girlfriend, but Sarah ended that portion of their relationship and got a new boyfriend. Despite this, they remained best friends while he still declared his undying love for her. The two would often skip class and listen to music and smoke weed together. They were inseparable. But then Adrienne came to East Moline, Illinois. Sarah is described by many as a very jealous person who had to be the center of attention. Despite knowing Corey was in love with her, Sarah continued their close relationship while she openly dated other people. When Corey met the new girl at school, Adrienne, he became friends with her too. In fact, he introduced Sarah and Adrienne and they all became friends. Sarah actually started paying more attention to Adrienne than Corey, and that prompted a little bit of jealousy in the trio. But Sarah didn't care. She actually wanted a more romantic relationship with Adrienne.
Oh, okay.
So there's like a little love triangle going on here.
Okay, yeah.
The two wrote letters back and forth talking about their bisexuality and curiosities. So they were trying to maybe start a little something.
Yeah.
And it's said that they did date a little, but Sarah and Adrienne did not actually become a couple. In fact, Sarah still had a boyfriend, and Corey, who was madly in love with her. So she sounded like she's got her pick of people there.
Yeah, right.
Adrienne was also seeing other people and dating boys. It seems that Sarah wanted everyone to want her and only her, and would get jealous when Adrienne would date a boy or even comment that one was attractive. And at some point, Adrienne asked Corey out on a date. Sarah did not like that at all. She doesn't want anybody impeding on her attention, right?
Gotcha. Major jealousy.
Big time. In December of 2004, Sarah and Adrienne had a huge blow-up argument about this exact situation. Sarah was mad that Adrienne would go after Corey. and was not about to share him with her or anyone else. She was already upset with Adrienne for dating boys, period, because the attention was coming off of her. And this was the last straw. After this argument, Sarah decided she hated Adrienne. She would call Adrienne a slut and threaten to fight her all the time. Adrienne, desperately, still wanted to be friends with Sarah and Corey and tried repeatedly to talk to Sarah and make things right. Sarah was pissed. She didn't want anything to do with it, setting out to make Adrienne's life miserable at school. On January 21st, 2005, Sarah seemed to finally calm down a little bit, and she and Corey invited Adrienne to join them and Sarah's boyfriend to lunch at Taco Bell. Adrienne was very excited to make things right with her friends, but the next day, she was reported missing.
Uh-oh.
Witnesses told police they had seen Adrienne with Sarah, Sarah's boyfriend, and Corey. Some even reported a fight in the Taco Bell parking lot on the afternoon of January 21st. Police started talking to Corey, Sarah, and Sarah's boyfriend, Nathan. Nathan told authorities that Sarah, Corey, and himself picked up Adrienne and went to Taco Bell. He said that Sarah got really angry at Adrienne over a comment she made about a boy. The two started hitting each other and ended up fighting in the back seat of the car. That's when he said he left when the fight started, not wanting to be involved in any of it. Corey told a different story, explaining that the group had picked up Adrienne in order for her and Sarah to work out their differences. He said that they did argue a little bit, but then they made up over lunch. After lunch, they had dropped Adrienne off at the McDonald's at her request. And Sarah told an even different story.
Okay. All right.
Okay. She said that her and Adrienne did in fact get into a fight and admitted to throwing the first punch. She said that Adrienne hit her back, but that's where the argument ended.
Okay. All right. So we got three different
Completely different stories.
Story 1 and story 3 kind of match up a little bit. You know, there's a fight.
Yep.
There's actual, fist thrown. And story 2 is like,
everything was fine.
What are you talking about?
Yep,
Great day.
Happened.
Okay.
On January 24th, 3 days after Adrienne disappeared, Corey and his parents came into the police station for questioning. Corey broke under pressure, as they all do, and told the police what really happened that day. Corey said, they just started swinging at each other, and then Adrienne hit Sarah in the nose. Sarah's nose started bleeding. So Sarah grabbed the wooden stick that she keeps in her car for protection and started hitting her a couple times with it. And they kept fighting and wrestling, and it moved to the back seat. Corey went on to explain that Sarah was on top of Adrienne and choking her when Adrienne fell unconscious. Corey said he and Sarah got out of the car and smoked a cigarette on the hood of the car. This was all going on in the middle of the lunch rush at Taco Bell in broad daylight. Okay. There were several eyewitnesses who saw the girls fighting, but were not close enough to know exactly what was happening. When Corey and Sarah got back in the car, he said that's when he realized Adrienne was dead. He went on to explain that he and Sarah put Adrienne in the trunk of the car. Then they headed to Sarah's grandparents' farm outside East Moline. When they got there, he said, quote, we poured the gasoline on her and lit it on fire. I poured the gasoline on the tarp. It was a butane lighter. I used the lighter and lit it, and then Sarah and we just stood away, and Sarah laid her head on my shoulder.
Oh, my goodness.
Little cuddle action at the fire.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah. He went on to explain that he and Sarah believed the body would burn completely, but when it wasn't burning fast enough, Sarah got worried. Corey said, quote, Sarah decides we need to get the body off the land and said, we got to cut up the body. Sarah asked Corey to dismember the body, but according to Corey, he couldn't bring himself to do it. He said they decided to call Nathan. And apparently, Nathan was an avid animal abuser.
Oh, okay.
By rumor that he used to cut up animals and torture them, so they didn't think it would be a big thing for him.
Gotcha, okay.
The next day, Nathan joined them on the farm where he cut up Adrienne's body with a saw he borrowed from his grandfather. So apparently it was no big thing for Nathan.
Just like that, yeah, hell yeah, I'll do it.
Corey then led police to Adrienne's remains. Her head and arms were wrapped in a plastic bag and placed under a manhole cover in Black Hawk State Park in Rock Island. Her torso and legs were found in the woods beside Sarah's grandparents' farm. The cause of death was not able to be determined, but the medical examiner stated that the body was compatible with a strangulation victim. Corey said that he did not participate in the death itself, but admitted to helping Sarah conceal Adrienne's body. After Adrienne's remains were recovered, 16-year-old Sarah and 17-year-old Corey were arrested and charged with first-degree murder and concealment of a homicide. 16-year-old Nathan was arrested and charged with concealing a homicidal death. Corey and Sarah both pled not guilty. Nathan pled guilty to concealment of a homicide and was sentenced to 5 years in juvenile detention.
Okay. Wow.
5 years.
That's it, man. Huh?
Wow.
Holy crap! And he helped cut
He
it
cut
up
up the body.
and spread it out, right?
Yeah.
5 years.
5 years.
That's it. And I know they're gonna be like, "Oh, was you juvenile, right?" But you're close enough to an adult.
They charge a lot of 16-year-olds as adults.
Exactly.
So I don't know why he would get off so easy.
5 years for cutting up a body and hiding it.
Wow.
Ooh.
Sarah went on trial in Rock Island County in October of 2005. She claimed throughout the trial that she was present when Adrienne died, but stated Corey was the aggressor. She said he got angry and attacked Adrienne, strangling her with a belt.
Mm-hmm.
She said she was just scared and helped him cover it up out of fear that he would kill her too.
Mm.
Corey testified that Sarah was the one who strangled Adrienne with the belt, but admitted to holding the victim down for Sarah. The prosecution put several witnesses on who described Sarah as making nasty comments about Adrienne in the weeks leading to the murder. She allegedly told several people she wanted to kill Adrienne, but no one took the threat seriously.
Wow.
Her journal was also presented, in which she wrote just hours before the murder that she wanted to kill Adrienne. Yeah. When the jury went to deliberate, most people expected a really swift verdict, but it was not. 11 jurors found her guilty, but 1 did not.
Really?
Yeah. It was ruled a mistrial.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Unbelievable. Right. How do you, I mean.
And they both admitted to being there.
Yeah.
So how do
yeah.
you just say, nah?
Right. No way, dude. I mean, come on. At this point, I don't care who you did it, I did it, they did it, whatever.
They were both there.
You're all there.
And you know,
all had
usually
something to do with it.
there's that rule, right? Where if you're
Yeah.
there, you're automatically guilty
Yeah.
for not turning the other person in. You see
Right.
people do life for
Guilty
that
by
stuff.
association, right?
Right.
You know? So, the hell, man.
An accomplice to murder
Yeah.
or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Man.
Corey then went to trial, pleading guilty to all charges against him. On July 10th, 2006, he was sentenced to 40 years in prison for the murder and 5 years for concealment of a homicide. He was sent to a prison in Chester, but was later transferred to Stateville Correctional Center. Sarah went back on trial in February of 2006 in Dixon, Illinois. This time, the jury voted unanimously to convict her on all charges. She was sentenced to 48 years for murder and 5 years for the concealment, to run consecutively with a total of 53 years.
Wow.
She was sent to Logan Correctional Center to serve her sentence.
I can't help but to notice a reoccurring thing here in Illinois. It seems to be everybody gets 5 years for the concealment of a body. So,
Right. Yeah, even the juvenile, 5 years.
Oh, she got the 5 years too.
Yeah,
Right? You know what I'm
he
saying?
did
Like,
too, yeah.
right. So
Yep.
5 years seems to be
That's the max.
going rate for
What's going on in
dismembering,
Illinois?
hiding a body. What the hell?
Maybe it's an
Wow.
old mobster rule from Chicago.
Hey.
While in prison, Sarah's appearance has changed in a very masculine way. Corey's appearance has also changed. Corey now identifies as a transgender woman known as Harley Quinn.
Okay, there's that.
It's an interesting name to choose.
There's that. Okay.
And is using she/her pronouns. Both of these convicted killers were given some hope of reduced sentencing following the 2011 Supreme Court ruling that said mandatory life sentences for juvenile offenders is unconstitutional. While these two did not get life technically, their sentences combined were considered a life sentence.
Right. But, I mean, come on. Come
Right.
on, Illinois. What the hell, man? What's going on here?
Right. And they both filed petitions for new sentencing hearings. In the meantime, Nathan the juvenile was released from custody in 2008 at the age of 20. He served only 4 years for the dismemberment of
Wow.
Adrienne.
That's mind-blowing to me.
4 years
Holy cow.
for taking a saw to somebody.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's
and then
nothing.
spreading the body out, too. You know, it wasn't all in one place, right? You know,
Yeah,
a
no.
piece here, a couple pieces there.
Right. In 2016, Nathan was killed in a car accident in southern Indiana.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cool.
maybe karma?
Karma?
Hey,
Maybe.
you know, they say karma's a bitch, right? So
Yeah.
what if, hey.
Hey, 4 years wasn't enough. In 2020, a judge turned down Sarah's petition for a new sentencing hearing. Her only chance of reducing her sentence at this point is clemency from the governor, and she has petitioned him for clemency. Corey, aka Harley, however, was granted a new sentencing hearing. Adrienne's father and stepmother were devastated by the ruling and gave impact statements to remind the court of what he and Sarah had done to Adrienne. Adrienne didn't get a second chance. She was executed by Sarah and Corey at the age of 16. And in 2022, Corey was sentenced with the original sentence of 40 years for murder.
Good. I mean, good.
Yeah.
I mean, because
he didn't deserve anything less either.
Yeah, no. Yeah, absolutely.
Corey, or Harley, now 34 years old, said, and quote, "I was a child, and all I'm asking the court to do is recognize the child that I was." He then asked Adrienne's family, "If I could give my life, I would. I'm sorry. I know it doesn't make a difference. I know you'll never forgive me, and I never ask because I don't deserve it." Despite his pleas, Corey will remain in prison, currently housed in a male facility. To the relief of Adrienne's family, her killers will remain behind bars until they are 60 years old.
There it is. You know, if the health lets them get that far, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I mean, you are where you belong.
Exactly. I agree 100%.
Yeah, and I mean, I have to also admit, though, I was a different person when I was 16, too.
That's true.
Than what I am now. I've matured a lot.
Now you're bringing up the question, is rehabilitation in our prison system possible?
Is it possible? I say it is, you know.
Or do you become more criminalized in our prison system?
You can. I mean, you very well can. Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I guess is what
Absolutely.
the person wants out of it.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely. Yeah. So, but I think they got the sentence right. So.
Definitely. 100%. So that is the tragic story of Adrienne Reynolds.
All right. So thanks again for joining us. And we truly hope that you liked our episode and wouldn't mind giving us a thumbs up, hitting the subscribe button for us. And don't forget, we have a suggestion email link in all of our descriptions. You can go ahead and leave us a suggestion on any cases or any way possible to improve our show for you. And don't forget, you can listen to us on the go on any podcasting platform. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, and come back next week for another true crime episode with us.